Wow, welcome to the live stream, guys. Welcome to the live stream. My good name is One Boy. Oh my god, there's a lot of noise in the background. But yep. Welcome to the live stream. My good name is One Boy. Hello. This is cute. Welcome to the live stream, guys. Welcome to the live stream. My good name is One Boy. Thank you so much for being here. W to the A to the M to the B to the U. Wow. Again. I think it's better for me not to catch a cold. Welcome to the live stream, everybody. How are you all doing? Good to see you. Okay. Hello. Good to see everybody. Welcome to the live stream. My good name is One Boy. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know where are you watching me from. Which country are you watching from? What is the time in your country? We can even go as high as even discussing the weather. Like, what's the weather like? Here in Kenya, it's 3:06 p.m. It's 66 degrees Fahrenheit. What else? Yep. How is your day going? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Yeah, and I have an acne here. Okay, we are just getting started here. Thank you so much, everyone, for being part of my journey here. Jeremiah Chiadikaobi. Hi, hello. Where are you watching me from and how are you doing? How are you doing today? I'm doing good. No complaints. How are you doing and where are you watching from? Welcome to the live stream. Make sure you say hi. Actually, one of the best thing about my live stream, we normally read everybody's comments here. Nigeria and you, Kenya. I'm Kenyan. Tell me one fun fact about Nigeria. Tell me one fun fact about your country. Let's go. One fun fact about Kenya is a really nice place to be in. Actually, I think Kenya is one of the best places to be at. Victoria, hi, how are you doing? Where are you watching me from? Which place are you watching me from? Which country are you watching from? Let me know one fun fact about your country. Nigeria is a good country. How? Okay, if somebody was to ask me why is Kenya a good country, I think there's lots of peace, and maybe because I'm Kenyan, but like I kind of feel like you just get that feeling of home. But maybe for somebody else, if you were to come to Kenya and you're not Kenyan, you would feel like, I do not feel like I'm at home in that country. Okay, guys, like the live stream. Let's keep going. Let me know where you're watching me from. Let me know your country. And let's hang out. Let's hang out. So what do you do for a living? What I do for a living, at the moment I'm building this platform at the moment. Uh, but other than that, professionally, I'm a community developer, social worker, all of those good things. So, yep. But at the moment, before I started doing this, I did a little bit of children's home and stuff. But yeah, okay. What do you do for a living? Okay, guys, keep liking the live stream and subscribe. Let me know what have caught your attention this week. I think I'm betting today we are on Friday. What has caught your attention this week? What have you been up to? I'm an electrical. Ooh, okay. I think that's a nice. That's a nice career here. Yeah, you can make good money out of that. Okay, keep saying hi when you join in. Keep saying hi when you join in. Let me know some of the things that are catching your attention, what caught your attention, all of those nice things right here. Chigozi Friday says, which country are you from? Kenya. Where are you from, Chigozi? Kenya. So we can be friends. Yep, you can subscribe so you can see me some other time right here. Chigozi, where are you from? Guys, like the live stream. Nigeria. Oh my god, seems like I'm getting a lot of even Jeremiah is Nigerian. Ooh. Okay, which state? I guess you all do states in Nigeria. Okay. Hussein says, hey you, good to see you. Can I have your number? Oh, unfortunately I do not share my number, but you can support by being here, and you can maybe see me every day here on the channel. Caleb I don't know, Macrain. I don't know how do you pronounce that. You're pretty. Thank you so much. Where are you watching me from? And guys, when you tune in, like the live stream, I would really appreciate that. Okay, welcome to the live stream, everybody. Chigozi says, your president daughter's marry Nigerian. Can I marry? I didn't know that happened. When did that happen? Okay. Harilal, you look so beautiful. Thank you so much. When did that happen? When did our president marry a daughter to the president, to a Nigerian? Wow. Crazy Kid says, hi. Where are you watching me from? Oh, I can verify. Okay. Is it that the recent one? I think that guy was Nigerian, right? No, Tanzanian. Okay, but woo. Okay. Guys, welcome to the live stream. We are still getting started here. Crazy says from Kenya. Kenya? Oh, me too. Me too. Is that like a homie thing? Okay. What caught your attention this week? What is one thing that happened to you or maybe around you this week that is like, ooh, that's interesting? Two of his daughter's current president. Oh wow. Oh wow. Welcome. Okay, let's do the questions that we normally do here. So the question is 30 too old to still be figuring life out? Maybe from time you will not be better, so that can I'll not be better. What does that mean? Okay, is 30 too old to still be figuring life out, in your opinion? And guys, keep liking the live stream. Okay, is 30 too old to still be figuring life out, in your opinion? Okay, firstly, I'm 24 years old, and it's like, honestly, 30 feels like the big number, okay? And I know it's not like a big number because we're just 6 years from now, I'm gonna be 30. But it just feels like by then, there's so many things that I should have achieved, or an individual should have achieved. So, in your opinion, is 30 too old to still be figuring life out? Should you already have, everything figured out? I am Igbo by tribe in Nigeria. Okay, I think Igbo is really famous. Actually, one day I was having a live stream and we were talking about the way like we can't actually talk about Africa as one because we have different tribes or many tribes. And somebody here let me know that in Nigeria they just don't have one tribe because I only knew the Igbo. So I thought everybody was Igbo. But yeah, they let me know that there's a lot more than we know or we hear about. So that's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah. Can guys welcome to the live stream. Ooh, God is in control, my good friend. How are you doing? Good afternoon, friend. Good afternoon to you. Is it afternoon where you're at? Oh, wow. Oh, it's morning time, but it's afternoon in Kenya. Chigozi says, "How can I see you one on one?" I think this is one on one. Doesn't it feel like a little video? Okay. Uh, the question is that it too old to still be figuring life out? No, it's 8 hours behind you. Oh, okay, 8 hours. Okay. Okay, that helps me to kind of like calculate. Do you think that is too old to be figuring life out? That's the question that we are having. Single bro says, where are you from? Kenya. Where are you watching me from? And where are you from? Okay. Wow, okay. Is that too old to still be figuring life out? Okay, actually, I'm 24 years old. So I don't know if this is the best question or like if I'm even allowed to answer the question, but I kind of feel like this pressure around like achieving some things by the time you're 30, but let me know if you're over 30. I think this is your flaw. Most of the time I ask questions for people in their 20s. So yeah, I think this is your flaw. God is in control says, no, it's not too old to be figuring life out. The thing about life is you will never reach a perfect point of knowledge or settlement. Life is always changing and we change as life goes on. Oh my God, that is, I think that's it right there. Because to be really honest, so far, so I think I have told I keep telling my story here, but you can never tell your story enough. So, of course, growing up and with the struggles that I had as a child and the struggles that we had as a family, I thought going to university would solve all my problems, or like it would make me feel accomplished, and that would be it for me. But honestly, when I got there, then there was new set of problems. Then after that, I was really focusing on like, will I get a job? Okay. Uh, and then it's like, and I know even when I finally get that job, or like when I finally get that job, there will always be something else. So I don't think, can we ever satisfy human beings 100%? Can you ever like satisfy human beings? Because I'm wondering about that, because there's always something. Okay. uh let's say you want to go to school, you go to school, after school you are looking for the job, after the job then you're thinking about children. There's always something. Can you ever feel like you're 100% accomplished? That's a real question right there. Okay, can a human being ever be 100% satisfied? Okay, is that too old to still be figuring life out? That's the question. Keep making sure that you're saying hi. Yeah, let's hang out. Okay. um God is in control says that it comes very fast. Of course, you can always change for the better. Life is good and a blessing for sure, but if you are constantly not content and thankful, you'll be miserable. Okay, so do you think human beings can ever be 100% satisfied? Can we? But actually, at this point, I'm convinced that you can never satisfy me. Because it's like, and let me tell you, and I don't know if people who grow, because I can only get the perspective of people who grew up struggling like me. So I don't know the perspective of people who grew up rich, but I kind of feel like for some of us who grew up struggling, is like we are just trying so much never to get back to where we are from, or like to the bad places that we've been in. Okay, so it's like we always want something, we are always looking for something. Oh my god, stop that nonsense. Okay. Darlene Mugalu says, hey, how are you? I'm good. Where are you watching me from? Good to see you. John Pok, he says, hey, I'm new. Where are you from? Kenya. Where are you from, John? Let me know. Do you think that is too old to start life? And honestly, another question that I just thought about is like, can you ever satisfy human beings? Because at this point, okay, honestly, right now I'm working on my being the gratitude, being grateful for the little things. Um, because if I am looking for something to complain about, there's tons of things to complain about. Okay, but but there's so many small things that I can be grateful for. For example, I can be grateful the fact that like I'm self-aware. That's something to be grateful about. God is in control says some people are never happy or satisfied. Yes, you can be satisfied and content. As you grow, you learn more about life and what really matters. All you need is simple life, one house and car. Okay, I even think a car is a luxury, but that's neither here nor there. To be really honest, for me it's a house. Okay, and maybe it's growing up without, most of us out here, we do have large pieces of properties or land, but it's like you never have like a safe house. So for me I think it's a house. But when I get the house, maybe I'll start wanting a car. Who knows? John Pocky says I'm from UK. Okay, where are you from? Manchester? Are you from Bristol, Brighton, Liverpool? Okay, I'm just picking on you. Oh my god, there's a lot of noise. Birmingham, that's how you say it? Birmingham. Ooh, okay, interesting, interesting. Is that too old to still be figuring life out? Okay, and actually, you know what? Welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much. Okay, so personally, I'm from Kenya. So, mm-hmm. Yeah, so as I was saying, I'm working so much on the gratitude, gratitude, being grateful for the small things, because they will always be something uh that's not right, or that you need some change. It's the Queen of Ghana. Hello, Queen of Kitty Waffen. You've been here long enough for you to know that I'm not Ghanaian. No, no, no. I'm Kenyan. So let's go with the Queen of Kenya. Maybe I should visit Ghana, but in the meantime, I'm not the Queen of Ghana. How are you doing? Okay. Is that too old to still be figuring life out? Oh yeah, Kenya Queen. I'm sorry. Queen's song is execute me. Don't execute. Okay. um. Okay. Let me know one opinion that you have that would get you cancelled. Okay. I think let me write that on the screen. Oh, you know what? Let me type it on the laptop. This is way easier. Let's take a moment to thank Father Yakub for creating me. Okay. Who is that? Yakub? Who is that? Oh, is your father's name? Okay. What's one opinion that you have that would get you cancelled? Okay. I've always had this thing that, like, oh, people saying that you should always thank your parents for creating you, or okay, not even I don't have a problem with, like, thanking your parents for bringing you up, for taking good care of you and all of that, but for creating ah, god, I think the process was fun for them. what's one opinion what's one opinion that you have that would get you cancelled? One opinion that would get you cancelled are there are two genders. Okay, is that an opinion that you have as a person, like you, as a person? Honestly, to be really honest, I never overthink about that, but I have seen is, like, you can almost never ever, okay, you can almost never ever talk about that, especially in the US. At least in Europe or UK, no, it's facts. Okay, but see, there are people who are transgender, there is bisexual. I don't know, honestly, I don't know how to feel about that topic. Okay, what's an opinion that you have that would get you cancelled? In Africa there are a thousand genders. Name them. A thousand? Oh god, name them. Your teeth are so white, thank you. Okay. Okay, always, do you have a toothbrush or a stick from tree? Right now I have toothbrush, or at least I've had toothbrush for like uh 10 years, but before that it was a stick. Yeah, it's like, you know what, You just make it work. You just make it work. No, actually, growing up, and I'm not even trying to be funny or sarcastic. Growing up, actually, the first time that I used a toothbrush was in high school. When I joined high school, that's the first time that I ever used a real toothbrush. But I always used a cypress, I just used to pick on the branches and brush the teeth. Yeah, and you make it work. And I've seen people with access to the toothbrush their whole life. And I'm not judging, but it's like you have bad teeth and you had access to a toothbrush your whole life. Oh my god. Hey. Revik says, where are potatoes? Okay. I don't know where they are. Why don't you send me some? Okay. Actually, you know what? The whole toothbrush thing, you might think is funny. I have had people compliment me about my teeth and stuff. But to be really honest, I didn't have a toothbrush for most of my life. I've now had a toothbrush for like 10 years. Yeah. It's really not a priority in my village. Let me just say, for my parents it was never a priority. They had other things to like buy and stuff. So you should be a dentist. Why should I be a dentist? Tavik says, I will. How are you? I'm good. How are you doing? We have a question. Is that it too old to still be figuring life out? You know what? Let me write that on the screen so that it will keep popping for everyone. Okay. Uh, I used a toothbrush, but now I use the stick from tree like in Africa. It's eco-friendly. Okay, do you use the toothpaste with it? Okay. Yes, it's eco-friendly. It's eco-friendly, but to be really honest, I don't think, okay, it works. To be really, it works. It removes most of the things, even actually from the inside. I think a tree toothbrush really works, but it's one thing for you to be able to choose and not, and another thing to have. And I'm not saying that there was no toothbrush in Kenya around the time that I was going to school. There was, but like we were just so poor that toothbrush was never something that we bought. Yeah. um okay, God is in control. Says God created two genders, okay, male and female. Okay, but see, I feel like right now you just choose not to talk about that because you want everybody to feel included, God is in control. Says, and here in the US we hate all that crazy talk. A man is a man even in a dress. Okay, but I think that's where it's prevalent, the whole thing, this conversation of like how many genders are there. I think this thing started in the US at least. Maybe, I don't know. I think, or that's where I see this conversation most of the time. And guys, welcome to the live stream. Billy Mark, how are you doing, Billy? Hello from Liverpool, United Kingdom. Ooh, Liverpool. Okay. Oh my God, thank you so much for joining in. Let me know, do you think that is too old to still be figuring life out? And what's one opinion that you have that would get you cancelled? Revik says yes. Okay. Kitty says, we won't ever figure life out. Let's just be happy and peaceful. Actually, that's what I'm working on right now. Okay, I am just so tired of figuring life out. Okay, and I know I'm too young to be talking about I'm so tired to be figuring life out. But actually, I think we will never figure life out. Right now I'm doing the prayer of serenity. To just focus on the things that I can change, because most of the things we cannot change. So, haha. Billy says some people are not normal. For example, that's your unpopular opinion, or like an opinion that would get you cancelled. For example, Lynn says, oh, how are you doing, Lynn? Hey, how is the Netherlands? Where did homosexuality originate? I don't know. You tell me. I do not know. But I kind of feel like from time immemorial, they have always uh, there have been people with both genders, like they are born with male and female organs. So I think that have always been there. Maybe that is what kind of triggered the thought. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, there have been people who have been born with male and female reproductive organs. So we shouldn't ignore that they are just people who are born with both male and female organs. Maybe that's where the thing started out. I had to wait 60 minutes for a pizza. Oh, where? Oh, God. To be really, I wanted to say I want a pizza now, but I just tried pizza once and I don't like it. I only like the toppings. I don't like, it just tasted like something that's rotten. I, the hype, I am sorry, the hype about the pizza is just, no. Let's pray. God is in control. Life is to love God, love your neighbor, make a family, be successful, and be kind to others. Okay. Kitty says life is not easy to figure out. That's why there are 1,000 religions, bro. Okay. Yeah, I think I've spent most of my life trying to figure life out. And actually, if you're watching this, guys, like the live stream so that my video can get recommended to more people, guys, so we can get monetized or something. What was I saying? I was saying I have spent most of my time trying to figure life out, okay? And I think this is something that happens when you grow up in poverty. Yeah, and you all know my points always ends up with me talking about poverty, right? But it's like when you grow up in poverty, you just want to figure this out. You know, you want to study what the 1% ultra rich does. And I think that's what I've done. I admit that I've been pretty serious for my age, you know, and I've always been like that. But I kind of feel this is, you know, poverty is a bad thing. Poverty steals from you, you know. Poverty steals your peace. It steals your serenity. It takes away your childhood. Oh God. Only man and woman, okay? God is in control. Africa was great. They hated all that stuff, okay? I remember when, like, people started talking about this out loud during Obama's time. Yeah, there was a lot of thoughts about that. Revix is, why are people talking about bisexuality? Why are people talking about that? Is because it's a conversation, and the moment we just keep ignoring, it's a conversation, okay? People are allowed to talk. Are we in a free world or what? I don't like it too, okay? Kitty says liked. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And if you're just joining in, my good name is Wamboy. Consider liking and subscribing. And let me know. We have 2 questions. Is 30 too old to still be figuring life out? And what's one opinion that would get you cancelled? Georgia says, I hope today you won't fade out like you did yesterday. I felt like you're ignorant. I didn't like it. That's why I didn't come back. Okay. Ooh, actually, I didn't even come back later on. No, I was not being ignorant. I was just feeling sick. Kitty, the 1% ultra rich do what the 99% poor do. Just with money, sleep, sex, and shower. What else do they do? Interesting. And that's it. You know, you keep thinking there's something that they know that you don't, okay? There's something that they are doing that you're not, okay? You know, yeah. So there's something that they are doing that you're not. Yeah, they write these books to like inspire you, and all of these quotes. You try to live by these quotes to see if your life would change or something, but haha. Yeah. So Georges, I apologize for making you feel like that. But I gotta tell you, apart from live streaming, like, you know, sometimes I'm just here smiling, but I'm going through stuff behind the scenes. So that was what was up. So haha. Yeah, and actually I tried to live stream at night. I just kept falling asleep. I was saying, okay, let me sleep for 10 minutes. And then I slept for 20. I was like, okay, let me sleep for another 20 minutes and wake up. Yeah. So yeah. Maybe I'm the only one who have always tried to like figure out what the 1% ultra rich does. I don't know. Is your house made of mud? No, not mud. We build with, in my village, most people build with wood. Okay, and the one who are kind of like trying to do nice, they use stone. Yeah, no, actually, in my village, I don't know if anyone have a mud house. I usually see these poverty things being advertised about Africa. It's always mud house. Okay, yeah, it's been years before I saw a mud house in my village. Hey God, oh, oh, you're talking to God is in control. Why do you call yourself God? Do you have superpowers? Maybe I think that's a character. Mud houses are cool. Would you use them? Well, you're all about the eco-friendly. I even see people trying to use, what do you call when you don't, when they do kind of like incorporate their feces back to the farm. What do you call that? I like watching tiny houses because I really want to have a tiny house one day. You know, these tiny houses, they be inspiring me. I want a tiny house, you know. Uh, and then I see them doing the whole thing where like they incorporate their feces back to the land. Okay, we've always used an outhouse in my village. We've always had an outhouse. So the whole washroom in the house is like a new concept for me, or at least it's not a new concept, but at least in my house it is. But yeah, at least we've always had an outhouse. I don't think it's healthy to do that, to like uh incorporate the feces back to the farm, but that's just my opinion. Yes, I would have to live in mud house. Okay, you would love to live in a mud house? Wow. Okay. Why? Why? I honestly, I wouldn't. My grandmother had a mud house. It was really cozy and warm inside, but it's just like there's just lots of factors, and not to mention when it rains so much, you have to maybe keep smearing the walls with clay. Lucy Dojoli says, "Good afternoon." Good afternoon to you. How are you doing? Good to see you. Poop where you sleep. Yeah, I think actually when I was in university, there was one of these friends. He always liked to live in single rooms where the washroom was on the outside. Like he liked the idea of how the washrooms are made in the village. Like the washroom is outside, okay. And I asked him, like he was not struggling financially. I asked him, why do you never like rent a studio apartment? He's like he's not gonna poop where he's eating. That's what he said. Okay, I don't know if he changed his mind after school, but yeah, he said that he would not use the washroom where he's sleeping at. Kitty says, so I can make my own changes and it's cheap. Madhouse is freedom. Yeah, okay, it's freedom. Actually, this guy, actually, you guys check this person out. On Oh, that is just for those who have TikTok. I think the name of the thing is Sky in the Wood. Okay, this is a guy in the US. He's Black American. He's just tired of the rat race. Okay, maybe some people would say he does not want to work, but he just goes in the middle of nowhere in the woods and gets a bunch of sticks and starts to make like a small room for himself, and he insulates the room. Okay, people are telling him it's just fun right now, wait until it's winter. But I kind of like that. I just feel like he's so freeing. He's so freeing, to be really honest. Yeah. Eventually, personally, I want to move to the village. I don't think the city have anything for me. It does, but it doesn't. The constant worrying, oh my God, where will I get the rent? Is just not so healthy. Yeah, but maybe if you have TikTok, you can search Sky in the Wood. That is his name. I like binging his stuff. Maybe somebody will say that he's silly or he just doesn't want to work, but yeah, he says that like we were not supposed to pay to live. Animals survive for free. Okay. So he said that even humans, we are not supposed to pay to live, but unfortunately we pay to live. Okay. Okay, I think what's one opinion that would get you cancelled? I think we've already looked at that. Today I really have some daft topics, but I kind of did that on purpose. I'm always a serious person, so having some daft topics is kind of like nice for me. Uh, Would you rather have a partner who talks too much or one that never talks? Let me type that. Okay. Kitty says, in Yemen they have mud towers like 8 floors high. No way. I have to look that up. Okay. Would you rather have a partner that talks too much or one that never talks? Let me see your opinions. Would you rather have a partner that talks too much or one that never talks? Okay. So you said in Yemen they have. Okay. Let me search mud huts in Yemen. Mud huts in Yemen? Okay. Mud huts, ancient architecture meets modern suitability. Let me look at the pictures. No way. Oh my. No way. How do you achieve that? Okay, let me show the camera. How do you achieve that? This is a mud hut. Wow. No way. This is so cool. But honestly, I do not admire, mud houses. They are not for me. I think, yeah, I think for some of you, you admire that because you've always had good houses. But for me, it's just like no. But I know you can make a mud hut really cozy. You have a concrete floor on it. You can make it really cozy. Just the same way that you guys in the US make wood really cozy. To be really honest, when I first seeing American houses, I thought that they were made out of brick or stones. And then I was like, what type of stone is able to like make the type of structures that they make in the US, okay? Because in my village, most of us construct with wood, but our houses are never that glamorous. Like they just look basic with the wood, but see, for them they process the woods and then they make an effort of like the interior, the cardboard. Would you rather have a partner that talks too much or one that never talks? For me, I would go for the chalant one. I'll always go for the chalant man. There's nothing as bad as like having to guess if somebody likes you, having to guess what somebody is thinking. No, personally, I will always go with the chalant man. Non-chalant is not it for me. So I would rather go with the one that talks too much. Kitty says, I would rather have a partner who talks too much because I talk so much, okay? Okay, that's a good... Kitty says, it costs a lot. It costs a lot for bricks and concrete, but mud is free. Yeah, mud is free. You can make just... Yeah. But why are we struggling so much in this lifetime? In Europe, we build with stones and bricks alone more, okay? Stones and bricks. So you never use wood, you never use mud, okay? Still out here we are still using wood and some people are still using mud, but I think the most common thing right now, the modern thing is bricks and stones. Joseph says, hi, good to see you, welcome to the live stream. How are you doing? We have two questions. Is that too old to still be figuring life out? Okay, and the other question is like, would you rather have a partner that talks too much or one that never talks? I go with one that I like. With a chalant person, you can always tell what they're thinking. George says, I would like someone who talks a lot for security purposes. Okay, so that they're not planning for, they're not planning something behind the scenes, Yeah. Because at least the one that talks so much, they will tell you what they're thinking, or maybe they will tell you even without knowing. Okay. Wow. But you know, it's so full circle to see people admiring or wanting to live in mud huts. Well, some people or most people do not, like out here. Okay, out here, like people do not want that. People don't want mud houses. Okay. Yeah, I guess you admire what you don't have, or you want what you don't have always. Okay, and guys, welcome to the live stream. Like the live stream if you don't mind. But rich people in Oxford want mad houses. Like you want a mad house. But why would you want a mad house? Okay, if you grew up in Europe or US or a place where they don't have mad house, okay, raise your hand or like type something there if you really admire mud houses. Okay, actually it's pretty much recently, because of course I'm a community developer, and it's pretty much recent. I have even seen people doing studies about eco-friendly lifestyle, eco-friendly bags, eco-friendly this, eco-friendly that. You know, like, yeah, okay, I'd rather it not to be eco-friendly, especially the one for decomposing your feces back to the farmies. He's like, no, thank you. George says, the one who shuts up, okay. The one who shuts up, you must fear, because she may wake up with hot water, okay? And the guy who shuts up, she may tell you to go for a hike with him one day. Who knows? Okay? One that shut up might tell you to go for a road trip. Who knows? Yeah, no. I think a challenged person is the best option every time. Kitty says, we do mad houses built in 1500, but not anymore. Wow. Okay, maybe in the year like 4000, mud houses will be something of the past even here in Africa, but I think it's still a thing. Okay, but honestly right now I'm at the place where, like, honestly I can see why these people are just building mud houses and just living their life. Okay, what I'm afraid of when it comes to, let's say, just saying, you know what, I'm gonna live for free, I'm gonna use what nature have provided, I'm gonna live, it's like then you live this awful life because you're living in a shack, you're not enjoying, you know, it's cold. Yeah. Okay, let me see next question, but you guys can keep answering the questions, I'm gonna keep bringing them up. Okay, let's do this one. This one is a daft one. What is this? This dress have a sticker with my name. I think I took it to be cleaned to the cleaners, and they stuck something to make sure they know it's mine. It's written Wamboy. I don't know. Wamboy. I should stick it on the wall. Yeah. Let me die in a mud hut. Okay, let me die in a mud hut. Not free, but just free of problems. How much do you pay for mortgage? How much do you pay for mortgage or rent? I'm assuming you're from England. Not assuming. I think you said that before. You from like London or something. So how much is mortgage or rent out there? Okay. Not free, just free of problems. Can repair my walls with mud. Okay, to be really honest, I think right now people, you know, we just want to be free. Personally, I really want to be free, and very soon, I don't know when, but very soon I'm gonna move back to the village. I just want to live like, you know, when it comes to even making financial decisions, making physical decisions, I want to make these decisions because I want to, not because staying in jobs that are not the best situations. When you are living in the city, you kind of have to. Do you have Bitcoin? No, I don't have Bitcoin. You wanna sell? Or are you buying? Okay, next question. Okay, this is a daft one. This is kind of like a daft joke or something. If you drop soap on the floor, is the floor clean or is the soap dirty? If you drop soap on the floor, is the this is not a question, this is like a daft joke. If you drop soap on the floor, is the floor clean or is the soap dirty? Food for thought. That's stupid, okay? But tell me you didn't laugh. Get some Bitcoin, okay? I think saying that get some Bitcoin is just like me saying, okay, I'm sick, and then you say, just recover, okay, or just heal. Okay, I think it's a good idea, but it's not that easy, especially if you don't have the money. Okay. Okay, next question. What's something society forces people to do that you don't agree with? What is something society forces people to do that you don't agree with? Okay. How do you start doing the crypto thing? Okay, I had a friend in university. They were doing the whole Bitcoin stuff, and he got rich, but I think along the way he kind of fumbled or something. But it's like we were always trying to get him to show us, but I think he never did. He never got around that. Okay, next question. George says, one boy, I'm fed up with YouTube. Here people can talk freely. We are not kids. When are we going to grow up as human beings? We behave like toddlers. One boy, YouTube is not doing justice. Okay. Oh, you're typing comments and they're not coming through? Oh my god, I feel you. I feel you. Kitty says, I'll send you some to start your crypto journey, okay? And I don't know how to do that. I even don't know how to do that. Ooh, Sadara can't do. Okay, maybe rephrase. I know it's annoying. It's annoying what YouTube does, but you can try to rephrase. Sadara can't says, hi. Hi, how are you doing? Good to see you. Welcome to the live stream. It's been a minute. We have two questions. Is that too old to still be figuring life out? Would you rather have a talkative partner or a silent one? And I know maybe you've been looking for me for the 1 week that I've been away, but you know what? I'm back. Okay. Corey says, hey, my favorite piece of chocolate. How are you doing? Good to see you. And when you join in, guys, can you like the live stream? I'd really appreciate that. Gloria Romero. Hi. Kitty says, government money is backed by army and taxes. Bitcoin is backed by computers, okay? But see, isn't it a risk? Doing the Bitcoin stuff is a risk. Corey says, can you do me a stay sexy all day? Okay, I was starting to be like, no, don't be inappropriate, but that is sweet. That is sweet. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, the next question. What is something society forces people to do that you don't agree with? And thank you for the likes, guys. Oh my god, I've been trying. Have you ever typed something so hard and then realized you've not been typing? The cursor was at the wrong place. Oh my god. Sada says, maybe that is not too late to figure things out, but I don't even know why I am answering. I'm not even that okay. But you know what? Me too, because see, I'm 24, and I think you said that you are 25, so it's like 5 years, and you already know what you can achieve within 5 years. Okay, we can never predict our fate, but I think that is not too old. Because now I'm just imagining 6 years from now, what will I have done? So I think that's where that's at. Kitty says, you're crazy if you don't want Bitcoin. Bitcoin and Madhouse is figuring life out. Bitcoin and Madhouse is figuring life out. Okay, it's not like I don't want Bitcoins, but it's just like at this point, I think I'm not there yet. Maybe one day. What's something society forces people to do that you don't agree with? Yeah. I think most things like, you know, you will be told how to talk, you will be told how to walk, and most importantly, you'll be told when to marry. But you see, if human beings are like animals, okay, if as human beings, we are told that we are just another form of intelligent animals, right? But why do animals never get married? Do they get married? Do animals get married? It's like, why? Okay, why is it like, why does that has to be pushed down our throat? And I know there's the Bible, and the Bible says, yeah, but there's that also the concept of even children. If you don't have children, it's like you're doing the wrong thing. So those are some of the things that I think society forces people to do that are like, you need to have a choice. There's this one boy, I have a problem. I don't know how to sugarcoat things. I speak my mind. I can't write. I wonder even saved Christians talk shit, okay? You don't know how to sugarcoat. Maybe use use words that are YouTube friendly. Kitty says, you need to get Bitcoin. Okay, I need to get. I will in the future. It's like right now when you don't have, what are you gonna do? Keep letting me know where you're watching me from. My good name is Wamboy. Like the live stream. Versus Frau. Oh, Frau, that's German. Meine Frau. Hello. How are you doing? Sada says, I mean, we can still do things we like, I guess, but once the responsibility of raising a child appears, then it becomes a priority that you know. Okay. So we can still do the things that we love, but like when it comes, but see, it's like, okay, other than the child, I know the child is like a responsibility that you need to be ready for. That's a responsibility. You shouldn't just have children and say that you can do whatever you want. No, you cannot, because you just created a whole human being and you need to be responsible. Okay, but see, other than that, we should be free to do what we want. We should get married when we want to. We should have children when we want to. Okay, we should get circumcised if we want to. Okay, and I'm just talking about in the male sense, because see, when it comes to Africa, the rites of passage is birth. Rites of passage is birth, circumcision, marriage, death. Okay, but it's like, why are we being told? That should be a choice, right? Sugarcoat just means to be nice. Okay. Kitty says, why don't you want Bitcoin? You just download an app and get Bitcoin. No banks, no one. You see, okay, which app do you download? It's like, I have no idea what you do. And it's like, even if I was to download the app right now, I'm not even in a position to do that. Okay, Georgia says, YouTube should tell me the choice of words I use. I thought it's a free space. Okay, you know what? Something else that I need YouTube needs to adjust or like do is like, when I'm typing something and you don't like what I'm typing, that word should be in red so that you can know this is the word that you need to change. But giving you the impression that you're just fine and then sending the message and then the other person not seeing it is really ridiculous. Kitty says, society forces me to hate Madhouse, which I don't agree with. Yeah, you're supposed, and if somebody is living in a madhouse, you're supposed to see like, oh my god, they don't even think, they don't even use their brains. Honestly, being in this house, I think have really helped me to see what we have in the village. I kind of feel like I can create the life that I want in the village. Okay, it's only that we just don't usually work on like creating that. We just want to run away and go somewhere where it's been made by another person. So I'm with you on that one. I don't think they are that bad, but see, it also depends with like what are you willing to what are you willing to agree, or what are you willing to compromise. For some for somebody is like a madhouse. It's like no. For me, like at this point, is like a madhouse. A wooden one would be better because you can insulate on the inside. You can put cardboards on the inside. But a mad one, I don't know. Man should lead. Okay, man should lead, woman should follow your lead, your man. Okay, oh, that's one thing the society have forced people to do that is really annoying, right? Man being a leader. Okay, I have no problem because we have to agree there's man and women for a reason. Okay, we are created man and woman for a reason. Okay, but the men are stronger than the women. Okay, physically speaking, but I think women are also strong in other ways. But it's like, let me know if you are saying things that for society forces us to do that you don't agree with. Sada says, I mean, if we are 30 plus and not married, I guess what is left is just helping parents and also time to do whatever we want. I mean, learn some skills we wanted to learn but postpone, or I don't know, some other, yeah, maybe travel. Okay, maybe have the best sexual whatever of your life. Kitty says download the Blue Wallet, or you just download on Play Store. Okay, honestly, I don't even think that I will download the the Blue Wallet, because what will I do with it? But thank you for the information. I'll maybe download in the future. God is in control says invest in stocks and crypto. Life is good here in Texas. Okay, stocks and crypto. Okay. So it's like you just download these apps and you invest in these apps, or what? Kitty says mud houses are made with wood too. Old Tudor, is it Tudor houses are made with wattle and dub, but English people aren't educated enough to know that. Bricks are made from mud. Yes, bricks are made from mud. Yeah. Yeah, but see, here we are talking about using raw mud that has not been processed, just the mud. Okay, if I would have a mud house, what I would want, I would want the floor to be concrete. Yeah, and I would want maybe the walls to be, at least I can put a mirror on that wall. Because see, one of the worries is like the mud is coming down when you're sleeping. But I know my grandmother used to live in a mud house. It was not that bad. She used to after every, I think, 2 months, she used to smear clay on it, and she would keep it top tier. 100%. It was a good place to be in. Sada says, I mean, good experiences, not doing things we will regret later. Yeah, it's never too late it's a mindset. Oh, okay. So Bas says man should lead, woman follow your lead as a man, is something that society have forced people to do that he does not agree with. Okay, and I see that. Yeah, for me, it's just the stupid submission that people usually talk about. Okay, you want people to submit to you, but you're not willing to change your behavior. You're not willing to be a good person. It's like just a man is a leader. You're supposed to follow the lead. That's amazing. She looked after her own house. That's amazing. We can't replaster. Okay, with bricks. Yeah, with the clay. And they even had a place that they would go to get the clay. They would just go get the clay, the white one, and then they would just smear. Her house used to be top notch. It used to even be warm. They would even smear on the floor. But of course you can't clean, you can just sweep. Yeah, smear it on the floor and the house would be really warm. Sada says, but I think at the same time we shouldn't leave too much time to figure things out or grow up, because there are people in their 40s, 50s, even 60s that still didn't learn anything from life. Okay, and I used to have this mindset like, as far as you're grown, you can advise me. As far as you're grown, as far as you're in your 50s, 60s, 70s, you can advise me. I think you're mature and stuff. But I just realized some people just put in years with lots of stupidity still in them. So, growing up is mandatory. Okay, growing old is mandatory. Growing up is a choice. So the sooner we try to be responsible, the better. Okay, yeah. We are all souls in bodies that age. Okay, we are all souls in bodies that age. Okay, okay. Judge says society is behaving like it's wrong to have sexy. I always wonder where people come from. It's not, if it's not sex, people should grow up. Okay. Oh, like it's wrong to have sex. Okay, society wants you to think that it's wrong to have sex. Okay, there's a lot of shame. There's a lot of shame that's associated with that. And I think maybe sometimes it comes from our upbringing, okay? The way that would be demonized. You know what? When we started learning biology and I learned how human beings are created, I was surprised because even our parents made it look like it's such a bad thing, like the way they would talk about it. There's a lot of shame around things like uh, touching yourself, or what you call, I don't know if you can say that here on YouTube, but there's a lot of shame around everything, around our sexuality, okay? There's a lot of shame when it comes to that. So, woo, maybe, yeah, maybe that should be. And also talking about it, okay? I know most people who even their parents never sat them down to talk to them about their sexuality. When you do this, you could get pregnant. You are learning from random people out there just because your parent is too shy to talk about that, okay? Nobody talks to you about periods. You learn that from school or from your first, your first catastrophic experience. You are like, why am I bleeding from this area? Kitty says Bitcoin is money. Mathematical money, okay. And I know, and I know, and I know, and I know, and I know it is. But how is it mathematical money? Bar says education has changed our people. Taboo topics being taught and spoken openly. Okay, yeah, and I think that should continue. How is it taboo while I was created through this act? Okay, and if I do this act without thinking twice, I'm gonna create another person. How is this supposed to be taboo? Okay, how is this supposed to be taboo while people have died from diseases that have been that they have gotten or contracted through doing this act? Okay, so yeah, there's lots of things that, yeah, and that's one of the reasons that I appreciate having this channel and talking about the things that we do. Kitty says birds and the bees. Okay. Sada says, and I think no one is truly old. Old age is physical condition or limitation, but they say body gets old but the earth is still young. So wisdom is not about age but about applying it, I guess. Okay, yeah, and I think that's what it is. That's what it is. And I'm so glad that I know that right now, because I used to almost respect everybody as fast you are a little bit older than I am, you would get my respect. Right now, no, you gotta earn the respect, man. Sada says the heart is still young, I meant. Okay, the heart is still young, yeah. But you can say that until let's say you start having things like dementia and stuff like that. So yes, the body, yeah, the heart is still young. Maybe it stays young. Kiri says Bitcoin fights against the evil. Okay, that's how good it is. Okay, okay. So I think the question is, what is something society forces people to do that you don't agree with? You can keep sharing on that one. Also, there was another question. Who would you prefer? Okay, somebody who is who would you prefer for a partner? Somebody who is talkative or somebody who is just silent? Okay. If your ex became extremely rich, would you congratulate them? Let's see the jealous type. That because of this conversation. Okay, George says, one boy, I wrote the name you are afraid to say about people touching themselves. They censored me. Okay, you see, and I try so much now to say things that they don't want you to say. Wow, it's like you can almost not say everything. Oh my god. Uh, wow. Um, if your ex became extremely rich, would you congratulate them? Kagiso Mogale says no, 29. 29. What's 29? Okay, so that says, I think when you say you should try even in life to not miss out, in reality, not everything is good for us. We rather think we rather should think first what's good or bad for us and make the right choice. Yes, I agree. Kitty says, I thank Father Yaku for creating me, okay? Africa is more advanced than Europe. Whew. Okay, if you agree, say you agree. If you don't agree, say and tell me you don't agree and why. Africa is more advanced than Europe. Okay, I don't know about that. Okay, there's a question. If your ex became extremely rich, would you congratulate them? If yes, why? Uh, okay, George says maybe we are using the new YouTube channel for kids. Okay, because of the way they censor, yeah, I think they are pretty much, they just don't want you to say bad stuff. Maybe not bad stuff. I think they're just, yeah, it's just annoying. You can almost never have a conversation here. Yeah, maybe they want you to talk about what's the weather. Um, yeah, maybe things like that. If your ex became extremely rich, would you congratulate them? I don't think so, but not from a point of jealousy, I think. It's just from a point of like, it's like it is what it is. You succeeding does not make you fit for me anymore. Okay, it does not eliminate all the problems that the reasons why we separated. Okay, I think I wouldn't. Maybe I would if necessary, or if we kept in touch, but it's like other than that, it's like, ooh. Judge says there's no bad word, all words are valid, and that's why they exist, you know. Yeah, but yeah, they want to limit what you can talk about and what you cannot. Yeah, you know, it's their platform, you gotta follow the rules. Akiti says Africa is more advanced in spirit, not physically. Yeah, in spirit. How do you figure that? Do you mean when it comes to spirituality? Do you what do you mean? Is it about spirituality? Is it, what is it about? Okay, you know, I'm at the point where, like, honestly, as far as you eat and drink the way I do, yeah, actually, the only reason that I've felt other places are more developed is because most people have a safe home in most of these other places, and I know there's still the homeless people even in the developed countries, but I kind of feel like at least this the basic housing, the standard housing that almost everyone has, and out here maybe not everybody have that, so it's like a privilege. But I think that's something that people can work on. You can sweat, you can sweat to have that, but other than that, honestly, I just feel like it's just okay. That's why I've never understood. Okay, I've always wanted to like travel abroad or go abroad because I kind of thought by doing that I would have more opportunities and that would help me to be able to build. But other than that, that's the only reason that I've ever wanted to go abroad. Other than that, the peace. Okay, you know, people say that Africa is unsafe, is not the safest place to be at. I think it's pretty much safe. You're not gonna walk down and get shot because people do not have guns. Okay, I even don't think these psychopaths that like the ones that I see someplace else. Okay, yeah, we don't, and maybe there is psychopaths who can maybe track you down and shoot you, but we don't have that type of access to things like that. So yeah. So that's as well. Bad words are called bad because they have a negative effect on us. Words have effect. If you continue calling someone a loser, they will be maybe become like that or become depressed. Okay, okay. I think right now there's a lot of bad words. There's a lot of words that they are kind of forbidden to use. Mark, how are you doing, Max? Max says no to the is that is still too old to okay. Is not too old to figure life out at 30. Okay, that gives you hope. Oh, which one were you answer? There's two questions. If your ex became extremely rich, would you congratulate them? So which one were you answering? Judge says that is very late to figure. We can of course ignore the bad comments, but still doesn't feel nice hearing or reading them. Okay, yeah, I think by running this platform I kind of like learning how to just mince my words and say the things that maybe I would want to hear. Judge said that is very late to figure out your life. If you are 30 and you have not figured out life, you should be jailed. I think you're trying to be funny. Okay, oh god, then I think almost everybody should be jailed. Okay, Mark says, I'm working in a forest at the moment looking for a lion. What are you gonna do with the lion? Okay, yesterday I had some intrusive thoughts and I thought, which one would you rather die for? Which one would you rather be attacked by, maybe resulting to you passing away? A lion or a whale? Would you rather be swallowed whole by a whale or be fed on by a lion? Which one would you rather? Kitty says, in Europe, only rich and powerful people think like African spirituality people. How do I explain the common people are less spiritual than common Africans and Indians? Okay. So you think in Europe the rich and powerful are the ones who are spiritual? In what way? Is it when it comes to being Christian, or what are you talking about? Since when lions live in forest? They live in the savannah at least. Where are lions supposed to be living at? I'm pink, you're brown. No, I'm black. At least that's what I know for sure. Okay, I'm black, maybe you're white. I don't know. If your ex became extremely rich, would you congratulate them? I think my answer is like no. And that does not change the fact that you're a psychopath, or maybe I'm a psychopath. So that says, it's funny, by the way, from where the expression lion is king of the jungle, if in reality lions don't even live in jungles. Where do lions live? Okay, at least out here I know they are like sometimes out in the wild. Maybe jaguars might live in jungles. Okay, let's find out. You know what, I have just thought that like they live in the savannah or like in the wild. Okay, where do lions live? Oh, lions primarily live in the sub-Saharan Africa, a small population, India's forests inhabiting. So they do live in forests, savannas, grasslands, open woodlands, and scrublands. Okay. So does that mean that lions are not available in other places? Wow, interesting. Okay, next question. Would you rather marry young or wait until you're financially stable? Wow. Uh, would you rather marry young or wait until you're financially stable? Which one do you think is better? And for those of you who just joined in, thank you so much. Kindly like the live stream. Hope I didn't pin what I thought I pinned. Okay, I think Bitcoin is programmed to increase in value. So if you manage to not spend it, it's more powerful. Okay, it's more powerful. Okay, you can use it to grow your money. Okay, like gold, but more stable. I would never covet. Oh wow, inshallah. Okay, yeah, I think when you start talking about crypto and Bitcoin, that's when you know that your things are really going well. Maybe rather be financially stable and see. Oh, you'd rather be financially stable and single. Ooh. Judge says, Wambo, if you're lost in a jungle and you feel thirsty, that would you choose drinking your pee or poop waters? No, I would never drink my pee. Oh my god, no. No, I'm not drinking my pee. Poop waters? Okay. Human or animal? Because I would rather drink animal. No, I would never drink my pee. No. I'm Catrix. Hello from Albania. Ooh, Albania. How are you doing? How are you doing? Good to see you. Welcome to the live stream. Kitty says no, Bitcoin is fight against evil banks who control. Oh, fight against. Okay. See, like for example, something that I realized actually the banks are making even more than we know. Anytime you make a transaction, they're getting something. But maybe that's how they keep their thing working. Hello, I'd rather marry the right person as soon as possible. Ooh, okay, that's I think that's even better. Would you rather marry young or wait until you're financially stable? And maybe this question is mostly supposed to be for the guys. Would you rather marry young or wait until you're financially stable? Elias Kingori. How are you doing, Elias? Good to see you. Welcome to the live stream. How is the going? Okay, so you'd rather wait until you're financially stable. You know, for me, I don't think as a woman you need to wait until you're financially stable to get married. But to have the kid, I kind of think that you do. You know, I am from the school of thought where like you can only trust yourself. Okay, you can love others, you can love them you can trust them. But actually, the only person that you can 100% trust is yourself. The only person that 100% got you is yourself. So that's why I wouldn't say that I would want to be financially stable to get married, but to definitely have a child, I have to be financially stable as one boy. Not even, I need to maybe have at least, I know what I'll do in case it does not work out with this person, or in case this person decides to run away, you know. Yeah, for the kid, definitely for the kid, I think you should be. Yeah, or maybe every kid comes with their own plate, right? What would you do? Would you rather die? Yeah, I would. Yeah, no, I'm not drinking my pee. No, no. Yeah, I'm grossed out by even the thought. I'm grossed out by the thought. What would you do? Kitty says these banks create loans and control your life through debt. Bitcoin is sovereign. If I put my gold in a bank, it's robbed. All that's my fault. Okay. Okay. Honestly, at this point in my life, I'm so scared of debt. Sometimes I want to, because I feel like that's the shortest way, or that's the easiest way to get to that's the easiest way to do some things. That's the easiest way to accomplish some things that you really want in like this. But it's like, ooh, you know. There's a time that I had all types of loans, okay, but not huge loans. It's just small money. I had, you know, here in Kenya, this we use Safaricom, or we use how you used to make phone calls. It's like you buy credit and then they can loan that to you. So I used to just keep pressing Okoa means loan, okay, until like it was too much for me to pay, like I think 1,000 or 2,000. It's not so much, but it's so much. Something else, these apps that that loan money to you, and then you are gonna pay with a little bit of interest. So I took their money, and then I kind of like spent like 2 years without paying at that point. Okay, but it's just small money, okay. But when I finally paid, I was like, you know what? If I don't have, I'll go without. I'll be loaning money, or like I'll be asking for things when I don't have another option, because sometimes we just have another option. It's just like, oh, I have access to this, let me just go with it, you know. Victoria, hi. How are you doing, Victoria? Good to see you. Welcome to the live stream. Let me know some of the financial decisions that you are making. Now that we are talking about banks and Bitcoin and gold, what are some of the financial decisions that you're making right now that maybe you wish you'd have started doing sooner? Okay, you're fine. Where are you watching me from? Yeah, that, you know, that type of noise, sometimes I'm sleeping and they are making that type of noise. That's why you need to move to the village and construct a mud house and live in it. They are not different from the mafia. They exploit poor people with the money that they can just print. Ooh, okay. I have never understood the concept of money. It's like, why do we have to work for money if this money is just being printed? Okay, and I know it's the money is what is helping us to have things that we don't even have in our countries. But I have never understood the concept, okay? Why do we have poor people? Well, this money can just be printed out and give these poor people a good life. Honestly, okay? I don't know, if I became a president, to be really honest, I just see myself maybe printing this cash and giving it to poor people so that they can better their lives. Okay, because why do we have to say, oh, this person is poor? Well, this whole concept is made up. Victoria says, what are we doing now? What do you think we are doing? Okay, we are having a conversation. Kitty says, every year they print £1 billion and give them to banks on loans, and then the banks can just ask the government to do quantitative easing, like Pokemon cards. Wow. Okay, that's, and I didn't know that. What's the concept of money to even start there? Okay, yeah. When you think about it, yeah. But oh God. So they just print this cash. Wow. Okay. Victoria, pay attention. Okay. I asked, what are some of the things that you're doing to better your financial, some of the financial habits that you have right now that you think maybe it would have been better if you would have adopted them long ago. Judge says you should marry and figure out where the money will come from. Money has never been enough. Okay. Oh, okay. Money has never been enough. Yeah, it can never be enough. But at least the stability of like a home. Like right now, I have no business having a child. I don't have a home. Okay. I don't know if you can call renting having a home. It's like, honestly, then what? I don't know it exactly, but yes, it's little just control the money supply. Okay. Oh, they control the money supply so that their market is not flooded with money. Aiden February says no. Okay. Why do you say no? Is 30 too old to still be figuring life out? Okay, if money did not exist, okay, if the whole concept about money never existed, okay, if money was never something, okay, what would you be doing right now? Okay, if money was never, okay, it's not even a problem, it's not even available, okay, there's no money, what would you be doing right now? Kitty says the economy relies on oil and the US dollar. If we stopped using machines and went back to mad hats, the US would invade us. Oh, okay. You know, yesterday I was researching. Actually, I usually research even by myself. I was researching which currency is the strongest at the moment. You know, Kuwait dinar is the strongest money right now. One Kuwait dinar is equals to 3.75 US dollars. Okay, Middle Eastern money is even stronger. I thought the pound was the one that was stronger at the moment, but the Kuwait dinar is even stronger. Actually, the US dollar is holding the 10th position when it comes to the strongest money. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's all about the oil. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but US dollar is the most traded currency. I think Judge Swambo, if you wait for money to be enough, you will get old waiting. Okay, it will never be enough, but you know, the small things like having a house is just non-negotiable. I think. Donatien, hi, how are you doing? Good to see you. Okay, did you guys know that the Kuwait dinar is actually the strongest currency at the moment? The British pound is at number 5, I think. US dollar is at number 10, I think, if I'm not wrong. I was so surprised. I thought US dollar and I thought the euro and the UK pound is actually the strongest at the moment. Yeah, there are so many currencies that we are not even aware of that are really strong. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that noise is really ticking me for some reason. Okay. The question is, oh, I didn't type the question, but the question is, what are some of the financial habits that you are adapting that are making you okay, that you think if you would have done sooner it would have been better? Okay, what's the weirdest thing you've ever googled? What are you talking about? A bunch of things. There's a question on the screen. Is that too old to still be figuring life out? And there's another question. Would you rather marry young or wait until you're financially stable? So yeah. What's the weirdest thing you've ever Googled? Okay, George says having a house is not a life or death situation. We have homeless individuals and they still have a smell on their faces, okay? But talk about the quality of life. For me, it's all about the quality of life, okay? Okay, I've never been homeless, but I think I've lived in a shack for most of my life. So I kind of know, do you know the feeling of like you're inside a house but you feel like you're outside? That can be one of the worst feelings that you'll ever have to live with, okay? So and I think maybe you've always had like a cozy space, like a cozy space. And that's why I was laughing when Kitten was talking about mad houses being cozy, mud houses being this and that, because I'm like, honestly, maybe we did not do a good job in like making our shack to be warm and stuff, but to be really honest, uh yeah, I think having a house is not overrated. Okay, and it doesn't have to be a big one. Actually, one of the things that I'm obsessed with, like watching right now, is cozy houses. They just inspire me. A cozy home, a tiny house. Okay, but honestly, you can't sell me the idea of like having a home is overrated, because I don't think it is. Grew up in a shack, I can tell you for sure. You are inside the house, but you're just there shaking. Um, what are you talking about? You can read the questions and you can know what you're talking about. Doma says, I'm twice as old and I still understand the world, and younger women too. Okay. Oh, you're twice as old. Okay, so 60. Okay. And still understand the world. Still understand, and younger women too. You understand or you don't understand? Okay. Ooh. So it seems like you can never understand everything, right? Okay. By the time somebody gets very old, or at the age where, like, it's time to go, you will not have understood everything, I think. Judge says, if you have a mad house, you can live peacefully. People don't bother you. And that's it. People don't bother you and you can live peacefully. But admittedly, mad houses are warmer, okay? For me, I grew up in a wooden house. Wooden house. Wood house, especially if you're not using well refined wood, especially even without insulation, there's a lot of what is it called, there's a lot of, what do you call, cracks or mianya. There's a lot of cracks where the cold comes in through, and that, yeah. So actually, mud houses are even warmer. Mud houses are warmer than, actually, they even sometimes they can even be warmer, because they keep the heat in. They can even be warmer than brick houses. But yeah, kitten. Okay, Thomas, I think, I don't know, you still, and I still understand the world and the younger women too. You understand, so I'm like, you understand or you don't understand? Maybe you can clarify on that. And how are you doing? Kitty Waffen says, I think the technology is black magic right now. The technology right now, okay, but don't we all love technology? Imagine, through technology, there's so many things right now. There's YouTube University. Tell me what you cannot learn from YouTube right now. Almost everything. Okay, you can do a lot of DIY projects. You can learn how to do people's hair through YouTube. You can do lots of stuff. Yeah, technology. Mm-hmm. The washing machines are actually still a new concept out here. We still do our clothes manually, but you can see the fact that you can just put your clothes somewhere and then they just get clean. Dishwashers, oh my god. Okay. Yeah, but I like technology. I think it's really that deep, and it's really nice. Okay, what's a hot take that you have? Okay, Thomas says, dear Wamboy, you shouldn't rely too much on internet search engine. Okay, can it be misleading? Okay, can it be misleading? Actually, to be really, at this point, if I don't know something, I have this thing on my phone where you just say, hey Google, and it just responds to you, and you can even have a full conversation with it. So even at this point, sometimes when I'm going through something, I'm just having full conversations with ChatGPT. But I gotta tell you, it have really helped, because right now I don't have to tell, back in the day, you used to have to like talk to a friend or something. Okay, and when you tell somebody, they might tell somebody. Okay, but I kind of feel like just having that capability of feeling like you're talking to somebody but you're really not is really amazing. Oh my god, these people, how can they're just, I don't know what they're doing. Kitty says the phone is out. Black slab could be anything other than black magic. Okay. But you're using the phone, right? Okay. Thomas says Google is everything. Google is not everything. There are others too. Many just want to sell their advertising. Okay, there are others. For example, let me know some of the other search engines that you guys are using apart from Google. Let me know actually. Okay. Bob says loneliness. Something that I don't like about maybe the Google is like when you're asking for medical advice, they just like to like remove themselves. Okay, this is for information purpose only. Okay, for more whatever, visit a doctor. It's like they always have to give you that disclaimer. Bob says loneliness pandemic would go boom. Okay, duck go. Yeah, honestly, with all the modern technology, we are just all sad. Okay, how are you doing, Bob? Yeah. Right now, but I feel like we have gotten more lonely with social media and with all this type of stuff, because you know why? Right now, we are not even trying to make human connections or to make real life connections. We are not even acting like we want to try. We are not. We are just like, okay. When I feel lonely, like for example, I have been having a couple of days that I have not been good days. To distract myself, I would just scroll Instagram. And the fact that sometimes you can scroll through what you're going through, you can look for videos of people going through what you're going through, and you just kind of feel like this, you're bonding over this. Kitty says, okay, maybe not all black magic, but I don't like the options on Apple iPhone and Google Android and YouTube. Okay. Oh, I was gonna say I don't have an iPhone, so I don't know, but haha. YouTube taught me how to build a mud brick. Oh, okay. You would have never figured out by yourself. Okay. I think YouTube have taught so many people lots of stuff. I think. Yeah. Doma says so. It is with women too. There is not only one. If it does not fit, you should let go. But I'm currently in a good relationship. Okay. Wow. Okay, you're currently in a good so you said that to say there's a lot of other options. Okay. But sometimes I feel like sometimes or most times you have to fight for maybe what you have already, because can you imagine if we were like, the moment you have one thing that is inconvenient, you just throw your hands up and leave. Yeah, but I kind of feel like after maybe couple of heartbreaks, 2 or 3, it's like you just see one small bad thing and you're like, no thank you, goodbye, see you. Yeah, and it's even it's scary to think about it. Very scary. Okay, I think this is an uncomfortable question for most people. Do you guys think does white privilege exist? And I don't know if YouTube will allow me to type this. Okay, do you think does white privilege exist? Let's go. this will be our last question, and then we'll see each other on the other live stream. Yesterday I told you guys, oh, I'm gonna show up. God, yeah. I think at this point, I'm doing the, what is it called, the serenity prayer, where you're like, you know, the things that you cannot control, you just stop overthinking about them, and I think I've found peace. Does white privilege exist? Okay. Bob says white privilege very much exists. Okay. In what ways? And let's keep it respectful. Bob says white people are the only group of people seen as individuals. Oh, wow, that hits home. I think, see, when one person who is black does something, let's say, for example, steal, let's say they do, you know, they could do any crime, they could do robbery with violence and all of that, and then we are just seeing as a group, you know, those black, you know, okay, as Africans, okay, one African does something, is like, that's just how they are. So honestly, I see that. Okay, another person's perspective, does white privilege exist in your opinion? Bob says, for example, if a white person does something wrong, no one says white people did it. They'll name and shame the person. Okay, we will be hearing, oh, it's Connor who did it. Okay, it's Alexa, it's this person, you know, that's what we will be hearing. So actually, with that one, I agree. Okay, okay, but you know what, let me ask the question like this: does white privilege exist, or is it like we other people, like, we are just lazy and, like, you know, we just want to blame, or we just want to be victims so bad? But every other person is expected to constantly represent millions of people they'll never meet. Okay, yeah. Okay, we are all soldiers of God. Okay. Answer the question, Kiri. Does white privilege exist in your opinion? Boy, I'm still here. I'm still writing like Georges does, and I know you're still getting cancelled. Okay. Oh, try to write something. Maybe use other words. Other groups uphold the white privilege, by the way. Yeah. Oh my God. Let me tell you. And I think I've talked about this several times. This time we went to Mombasa for like a vacation thing, and it lasted for 3 weeks. Okay. So halfway there, there's this lady. She just started tending to our table from the first day. Okay. And my fiance really tipped, because you know in the US they tip. Okay, so he would tip every time. He would tip every time, and when she saw us coming from the room, she would run to our table every day. So this day, honestly, all my clothes were dirty, and like I needed to go for breakfast, and I had seen, so that restaurant was mostly white. Okay, so I had seen people are going out in bikinis and stuff. But I didn't. I wore a sweatpant, and then on top I wore like a blazer and then a small crop top or something. Okay, and then this girl just comes and goes off on me. Okay, button your shirt, and I'm like, oh my God, why are you not telling this person? And it was sad, but it was like, you know what? She just sees herself like she's not supposed to be like these people so bad that she wants to put that on me. Okay, we called the manager and all of that, and they really apologized. So if it was like their principle, their rule at that restaurant, like you just don't wear like that, the manager would have never apologized. Okay, but the thing is, she just wanted to be me so bad. Okay, she just wanted to be in that situation so bad. Okay, so it's like, and let me tell you, I can tell you for sure, she was black. She was as black as I am, or maybe even worse. Okay, no, not to say even that, but whatever. She was as black as I am, okay. But the truth is, I knew if I was white, let me tell you, I don't think she would have come to me like that, like button your shirt. No, she would have never done that, okay. Even if she needed to, she would have maybe talked to a manager or something. Yeah. Uh-huh. Other groups uphold white privilege. Thomas says, I don't feel privileged. Everyone should know how to treat their fellow human beings, okay? Yeah. But you know what? Unfortunately, in my how I have experienced it, no white person have ever been mean to me, to be really honest. In real life, okay? It's usually the black people that think that you're not supposed to be at this restaurant. It's usually them, okay? Is you go to a high-end restaurant, and I gotta tell you, if you, Thomas, you enter that restaurant at the same time that I enter, I can bet you money they are going to come to your table before they come to mine. I can bet you money, okay? Another thing that is, okay, for example, you're in a relationship with a white person and you go to restaurant in Nairobi or maybe Mombasa, okay? So when it comes to ordering, okay, my man can order for me when I'm at a restaurant. My man can order for me when I'm at a restaurant, but mostly, and this is even when you're with a black American, okay, these African women or these Kenyan girls, they will mostly even go to ask the guy what is she gonna eat, because she just feels like you can't communicate for yourself or something. So maybe it's a thing, we feel like we are less privileged than them, so maybe it does not exist. Maybe we are the one who just feels like less than, and then we project that. Bob says, why wait for God when you can disabuse your mind of propaganda right here on earth, okay? And most of these people are just religious psychos, sorry to say. Sada says, I think the white privilege questions have been mentioned here before. Yeah, but I've never asked it. It's usually people asking, but I'm usually not kind of ready for it mentally. But if you've answered before, you can maybe listen to what others are saying or something. Yeah, I know sometimes I repeat the topics, but every time there's something interesting to talk about. Oh, you took back your message. Oh, did I say something? Okay. Kitty says, did you find it interesting? White clay burns the hottest. White clay burns the hottest? I don't know. Judges says, one boy, you're not black as you think they are. Black people out here. There are black people out here. Yes, but I am black. Okay, you know, these phones can sometimes lie. I am a black woman, okay? Oh, hopefully you are retyping that, Sada. Or if I said, maybe I said something that offended, I don't know. Still, me says, I disagree with the idea of white privilege. Being white doesn't guarantee success, wealth, or an easy life. Judge people by their individual circumstances, not the color of the skin. Unfortunately, that's what we want, but unfortunately, that is not what happens, okay? That is not what happens. Actually, this girl, she said that she was an illegal immigrant in the US, or her mother migrated there illegally with children, okay? But they were white, okay? So, and she said that they were never stopped. Or nobody ever doubted if they belonged there or if they had to be there. Think about it. If it was a black African person who was there illegally like that, they would have been found out within the first few weeks or conversation or something that I want to talk about. Okay, so she was talking about like they were illegal immigrants almost her whole life, and they were never stopped. Okay, think about it. If it was a black or brown person, okay, you know you can you know you can have a privilege and still not be wealthy or successful, right? Okay. I know. Sada says, I mean, in certain societies, white people can restrict other white people of things if they are poor or something like that. Okay, and I know, and that can happen. The same, but it's like in the case where, like, let's say we have all colors, all colors here, okay, who is more privileged? I think that's the basic question. But it's like, humans are humans, okay? We always want to be better than somebody. That's it. Maybe it can be, maybe it's not as simple. Yeah. Do you think that white privilege exists in your country? I know it does here, but not because the white people are standing there and like, fighting for that. We want that. No, they're not doing that. It's like the people here, or this, for example, the two situations that I described, one in Nairobi, one in Mombasa, these are individuals who do not, who just feel like they're gonna get maybe a tip when they serve to the maybe they're gonna get a tip when they serve to the white person's table, because let's say you're black or you're Kenyan, they just assume you will not tip. Okay. There's a lot of things, there's a lot of things. Okay. So I have experienced that when it comes to Nairobi and Mombasa. I have even seen other people complain about the same. So you can't tell me this stuff is in my head. I know it exists. Okay. Because when you go to a restaurant where like it's just Kenyans who are there, you will get the same treatment like everybody. White privilege in Africa, for example, shows up in how a lot more friendly people are when they see white. Yeah, okay, and it's like, oh, are you okay? Like, they will come to your table like 10 times, okay? Even, especially if you're in an interracial relationship, pay attention to when you're in African countries. Pay attention to how these people treat your woman, okay? Pay attention, because you'll really be surprised. You'll literally be surprised, okay? Even when it comes to like, it's a black guy and a white woman in a relationship, you go to a restaurant, you'll mostly see the waiter mostly asking the white girl, okay, what are you all having? Because there's this assumption that she's the one who's paying. Dama says, as a white person from Germany, I was not sometimes well addressed in Kenya either, and was insulted with racist accusations in Ukunda for no reason. Okay, were you tipping? Because they were you tipping? Okay, if you are not tipping, because also you have to understand, these people are also money hungry. Okay, we all are money hungry, but these people, if you're tipping, you're gonna get a good treatment. Okay, this time we were in Nairobi. Okay, so it was my fiance and I. So in that room, it was like an Airbnb. So they had a washer and dryer, and we were staying there for a whole month. So personally, I do not clean. Like, I will not take the hotel's towel and start cleaning them. I will not do that. So what did my fiance? He took them and he started cleaning the towels, because I don't know, he had messed on them or something. He was just cleaning them. Okay, and this lady comes in there, and then she just going off in Swahili like, oh, towel kwa don't clean the towels, you're destroying them. And I'm like, whoa, hold up. Okay, so I'm just over there, and then he says he's the one who cleaned them, and I could see the shame in her eyes, because she really thought that I was the one who cleaned them. Okay, so my fiance didn't take offense, but I did, because he just assumed, maybe because I'm the lady, she assumed I was the one who was cleaning. But let me tell you, these things, the whole even foreign, as far as you're not Kenyan, I think they feel like you're better off. No, I said, okay. Bob says, it shows up in how the Asians got brutalized during the wars and see badly behaved tourists, but instead hold prejudice against blacks. Okay, wow. So that is, for example, in the Balkans, some people pay more the immigrants than their fellow citizens. For example, Indians can get paid a bit more than locals. Doesn't look like white privilege. Oh, wow. Okay. And that's a good review. That's a good review. This is one boy. Who are you apologizing to? Don't apologize. Apologies might look like you're weak and you seem to be strong. I am, but it's like, if I said something that is triggering you, I would like to know. Bob says, foreign experts are more qualified. Nobody is hiring a global talent for an entry-level role. That's probably why the Indians are getting paid more. And in my experience with them and the ones that are here in Kenya, they're usually very educated and experienced. I think Indian people in the Balkans mostly work in delivery or construction. What qualification here can be? Oh, okay. Most of them are usually doctors and stuff like that. So Victoria says, hi, good to see you. Bob says, I'd have to research on that, but that goes against any business logic. Businesses want to make profit. They aren't charity. So why would they pay higher for what they can get cheaper? I know businesses are horrible. That's why we need fascism. Okay, okay, yeah. So I don't know, when it comes to this topic or even this question, I think it's mostly a question of like self-worth as a people, you know, because if you don't love yourself, and let's say you are expressing your insecurity toward me, is it a me problem or a you problem? So I think with most of us it's like an us problem. And maybe, you know, this okay, and I'm sorry to say, but most of these people are confident, okay? They know that they deserve what they have, okay? But most black people, even the ones that have made it, they have a bunch of white people that they are worshiping. So maybe it's a we problem. Maybe it's time to check yourself, okay? Look at how you treat your fellow black people, to be really honest. Look at how you treat your fellow Asian, okay? And when it comes to a case where there's this person who is white and there's an Asian person, there's a black person, there's a Latino person, pay attention to how you're treating this, you know. So I think that's a good message. And by construction, I don't mean an engineer, but a simple worker carrying bricks and stuff. Oh, okay. Thomas says, I'd rather have the problems when I'm with my black girlfriend at the hotel. The local staff at my girlfriend's hotel don't respect me. I can think I don't agree with the mix of relationships. Oh, okay. They don't believe in interaction. Okay, let's say you're in a restaurant. Okay, Thomas, this is a, you know, hypothetical situation, right? So you are in a restaurant and you're being treated right, but your woman is not being treated right because she's black. Are you eating there? She's expressing to you, okay, you know, this place is not that all of that. So are you eating there? Okay, why is that question? Why is your girlfriend black? Is that supposed to be a question? Bob says, basic construction workers get paid higher than some white collar workers in Canada and the USA, by the way. Okay, Sadar says, but I mean, in a way, they would have had worse in India, especially if they are from lower caste, and then I guess they would have had worse. Okay, so you don't think that exists? Could it be that you are comparing blue collar to white collar? George says, Wambo, I need to attend your wedding. It's taking a lot of time. I want to see the change when you're someone's wife. What change? Okay, what are some of the changes that you think will happen? Okay, I think I'm always gonna be myself, to be really honest. Maybe I'll be more calm and timid. Maybe I'll be more I don't know what I'll be, but I think a lot. I just want to be myself, to be really honest. I don't want to lose myself to anything or to anyone. I just want to, I want any experience that I have when it comes to being in a relationship or even a marriage. I want that to bring me back to me even more, you know. Yeah. I asked AI, this is what it said. Okay. Well, Mr. Bob, you are comparing USA and Canada. That had a very big economy, and USA is a global economy. Balkan countries don't have that influence. Okay, Balkan countries don't have that influence. Bob says, no, Indian workers in the Balkans generally do not get paid more than the locals. Most migrant workers from India are hired for blue-collar, labor-intensive roles such as construction. Kitty says, I just caught a fly mid-air. Congratulations for that. Bob says, manufacturing and delivery services, where they typically earn standard local minimum wages or baseline salaries comparable to, or sometimes slightly below, what local workers receive for the same job. Or maybe you might think that is higher because when they convert them to their local money, then they have good money, right? Because I think that's also, there's so many people who are bitter with immigrants, especially in places like the US, because they think that, let's say, the immigrants are taking their jobs or the immigrants are making more money. But the truth is, let's say, for a job they're paying $5. Okay, $5 or €5 is nothing to you when you are in these places. But let me tell you, when that person sends that $5 back home, that's, let's say, that's like 600, or that's like 700, you know. So yeah, you need to even also maybe think about that. Mm-hmm. Steven Slatter, how are you doing? Not that you think you're just finding yourself, okay? So that is too young. You're finding yourself. Interesting. Okay, Thomas, is it forbidden to have a black girlfriend as a man from Europe? Okay, Kitty, answer that question. I think that was your question. Why does he have a black girlfriend? It shouldn't be forbidden. Okay, it shouldn't be forbidden. But it's like, people always assume if you're white, you're with a black person, you have like an intention, or like you're just being curious, you just want to explore how it feels to have a black woman. If you're a black person and you have a white partner, people assume that, oh my god, it's for their money. Well, let me say, it's for their money. Well, they don't even have the money, you know. I think when you are someone's wife, you will not mention about the changes of men who are circumcised. Changes? I have not talked about the changes of men who are not circumcised. Where did you get that from? Oh my god. No, I think honestly, me personally, I just think I'll keep talking about whatever I want to talk about. Because I refuse to allow marriage to take the life out of me. Okay, I refuse. You know, I refuse to be somebody's shadow. So I'm just gonna talk about what I think. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like mostly women are usually expected to like change and mold into the role of a woman, while the man gets to retain the same job that they have, they get to retain the friends that they had, but the woman, you have to mold yourself to become a woman, to become a wife. So I don't know. Bob says the thing about the anti-immigrant sentiment globally is the fact that the politicians get to benefit from the most from it. The government has the power to stop it or improve the lives of the locals, okay? And most probably, even the type of job that these people are doing are the type of jobs that you really don't want to do, okay? Are you willing to wipe people's butts? Okay, let's start from there, okay? Are you willing to walk cats and dogs? Maybe no. Okay, are you willing to be an au pair? Are you willing to just be given $1,000, what is it, pocket money, to be an au pair? Are you willing to do that? No. The type of things that we are willing to do that for people who come from, like, that's the countries with a lower economy, are the type of things that you're not even willing to do. So you're being offended by people pursuing a job that you don't even want to have. Okay, Sadal says the irony is that lots of people from the Balkans and East Europe are moving to West Europe for opportunities, and so Asians go to Balkans for opportunities, which sounds weird to be honest. Okay, but think about it. Maybe they are taking jobs that you guys wouldn't take, right? But says, okay, tomorrow. Okay. I saw a glow on one boy's face. She can't wait to get married. Okay, I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily. Bob says that people are always looking for better opportunities. To the Indian with degrees suffering from a caste system, Balkans is good. To you, UK is better. That's just life. Okay. Yeah, sometimes you're moving from your country and somebody is moving into your country and they find it to be beautiful, you know, they find it to be awesome. I always see people, let's say people move to Kenya and they're like, oh my god, you will not believe this about Kenya. And I'm like, you know, I like my country, but it's like you think that it could be better. But there are people who are moving here. For example, we have a lot of South Sudanese here in this country, okay? We have a lot of Burundi people here in this country, okay? And then you're like, what are they coming for? And then they say that here there's jobs, They're saying that in Kenya that there is jobs. They say that here in Kenya there is a lot of peace, especially the South Sudanese. They say that. Okay, but the type of jobs that these Burundians do maybe are the type of jobs that you're selecting. You don't want to do them. Poor want to be middle class. Middle class want to be rich. Mm-hmm. Sada says, yeah, the thing is, they mostly, not all, would take low-paying jobs. With the locals, wouldn't want. I mean, who would want low payment, especially when prices are getting high? Yeah, it's like, let's say out here for Kenyans, it's like nobody is gonna work for you for 6,000 a month. Okay, somebody from another country, you pay them 6,000, they convert them to their local money, then they just made out like a thief, you know. They convert the money and they have good money. So that is also to be considered. Bob says, in Nigeria we have a lot of Lebanese, and then you are like, what are they coming for in this country? We are trying to get out of this country and go to better places. What are they coming for? So that says, Europe countries offer more opportunities and pay more, but it depends. If it's Germany, Switzerland, they're okay. But if it's, for example, Romania, then it has the lowest economy in Europe. Wow. Okay. Yeah, but the grass, you know, the grass is always greener somewhere else, right? The grass is always greener somewhere else, and that's the truth. And it's sad. That's a sad truth, actually. The grass is always greener somewhere else. Rather, many Romanians go to Germany, Switzerland, Netherlands to work. Okay. Yeah. Wow. It is really sad that we have to like leave our places just so that we can make some decent money to change our lives. You know, it's one thing if you travel for fun. You know, George says, boy, I feel like I've known you for many years. I can see, but you can't see me. How do you feel talking to people you can't see? Honestly, God, at this point, most of you, I feel like you're family to me because of how you keep showing up. I feel like I know you guys. Well, most probably I can't put a face behind every one of you guys. That's how it feels like. It feels weird knowing that you guys are staring at me, but I'm not seeing you all. But it's beautiful. Honestly, it's beautiful to know that there are people who know you, but you don't know them. You know their names, but you're not being able to put a face on it. Sadas is not even Italy, mostly Germany, Switzerland, Netherlands, because they have better situation economically. Okay. Kenny says that is not too old. Honestly, no one will figure out life. You just do your best in everything that you do. Okay. So I think we are all in agreement that that is not too old. You know, you're just that years young. And let's say even at 70, you're just 70 years young. Okay, but maybe at that point you're more stable, you're more the stability. I think the stability is what makes you feel like you figured things out. But yeah. So at least the pressure to succeed by 30 maybe shouldn't be a pressure anymore. Maybe we should just embrace life as is. Okay, make sure you're doing your best. Make sure you're doing your best to get yourself in a good place. But at the same time, you know, things that we cannot control. That is satisfied anchor status. That is all though. Okay. Do you expect yourself to have already made it by 30? And if you haven't, what will you do? If you haven't, what will you do? Okay. Hopefully, yesterday I slept through my time for the show at night. For some reason, I just, I was just out. I kept saying, okay, I'll wake up after 1 hour. I'll wake up after 1 hour. And so today we are gonna show up. Of course, topics like usual. Kennedy says some people don't figure it out till 45. The world is crazy, and some people never even figure out until they get out of this world. Maybe the point is not figuring out life. Maybe it's about living the best that you can. The few minutes or the few moments that you're here. Okay, maybe it's not about okay, but you know what, I'll never say that having money is a bad thing. I'll never say that money is evil. I'll never say that, because it's something. But what I'll say is like, maybe we can just love ourselves through the situations that we are in, because at the end of the day, this is where we are at today. Okay, this is who we are. Okay, yeah, we are literally winding up. Sarah Washington, how are you doing, my girl? As life is about figuring life out. Okay, and maybe it's not even about figuring out in your 20s or even 30s. Maybe it's about maybe life is about figuring out life for the rest of your life. Ha! That's scary. Because honestly, looking even at my parents, they're still figuring out lots of stuff, okay? They're still figuring out lots of stuff, okay? At this point, there is more stability. At least you don't have little babies that are crying. But maybe at the same time, you don't have the best house, you don't have the best car, or maybe you don't even have a bicycle. Bob says anybody that says money doesn't buy happiness has never been broke. Okay, and that's what I've been saying. Thank you so much. You know what? I've always said on this channel, okay, the people who say that money is evil, money is not everything, you've never been poor, right? You've never been poor. Yeah, because honestly, it would only take richness for me to say that money is that bad. Because if you've ever been poor, you know what poverty have taken you through, the disrespect that you've received as a result of poverty, the type of begging you have to do from other people. God, not to mention when you want something you can't have it. Yeah, let me tell you, poverty is the ghetto. Poverty is just the bottom of the, if there's a rank, poverty is there at the bottom. Kennedy says, I think figuring out life is just finding peace without materialistic things. Okay, I've been broke, thought money would bring happiness, then made money and still can't find happiness. Wow, I want that type of problems. I want to have money and not be happy. That's okay. Let me not manifest that into existence. But to be really honest, I think most of my problems can be solved with money, to be really honest with you right now. Yeah. Okay, I want to worry about, okay, but let me tell you, good health is like, that's something that you can never buy, right? Good health, you can never buy good health. But I feel like everything else, money gives you the opportunity to walk away from situations you don't want to be in. Money helps you, not even, actually, even in families, people who don't have money are not treated right? Boniface Mutisia, hi, how are you doing? George says, happiness to me is opening my eyes in the body. Okay, I want to live that level of acceptance. Okay, I want to be so content. That's what I want to be. Okay, Kennedy. Happiness is opening the eyes in the morning. Oh, you are agreeing with that. Being alive, that's the happiness. Because you have another chance to figure life out. Why is it so windy? It's almost like I'm outside. I'm feeling so cold. It's almost like I'm outside. Okay, so thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. I'll see you all later on tonight. Okay, let me borrow some time. If somebody is typing, to finish the typing. Okay, and something that I like is like my live stream, we are usually very spontaneous. We talk about everything. Yep. Right now, I'm on a mission, guys, for the watch hours. Help me get there by whenever you feel like, just click on that video and let it just play for 2 hours. Okay, so yep. So it's all about growing every other day. Thank you guys for the support. You can keep supporting me in any way. You can click on my profile thing, not profile, I don't know if there's a profile on YouTube, but you can click on my image there and you'll see details about me. Yep, maybe you can even support on other platforms and stuff, but yep. So thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. This have been an awesome 2 hours 20 minutes actually. Ooh. Okay, so I'm gonna see you all later on tonight, 10 p.m. Kenyan time, maybe until whenever. Okay, so bye.